I wanted to watch the soft take video. I heard it was pretty good. It's only 10 minutes. So I figure we'll do this. And this shall be, hopefully, the final chapter of the Ethan Klein saga for at least a little bit. And then every time he says something stupid, we'll probably watch it because it's very funny to farm him. Because he just can't help say unbelievably, accidentally funny things. So yeah, well, like I told you guys, I want, you know how like every single, I feel like most creators have like their lolcows, like Majority Report has Tim Pool. I think this will be my Tim Pool. So let's watch, shall we?
What happens when a content creator, someone with millions of followers, decides to use their platform as a weapon? Not only against trolls or content creators he doesn't like, but also against regular people who dare to criticize them.
At this point, you're totally Here's the thing. We're going to get your IP address. We're going to
Who does Hasan have? Dan Crenshaw.
Out your information. We have forensic, digital.
Ethan Klein has an interesting life. You know, go to work and hit the live button in your studio decked out with thousands of dollars worth of film production equipment. Producers left and right to chime in sometimes and hit the technical difficulty screen to save your ass when you say a few things you shouldn't say.
I don't know why I thought that. Apparently she did not have sex with Destiny, although it...
Maybe recklessly throw around a few claims here and there without anything to back it up.
They literally talk about doing psyops, faking posts, brigading, and all this. And I have 4 years of all of his chats. There's stuff in there that will put him in prison. I'm not even fucking kidding.
Okay, so apparently he has something to back it up. But I mean, it is kind of hard to trust his interpretation of what he sees, considering that he has proven in the past that he is incapable of interpreting things. He's not exactly the beacon of credibility.
I mean, because like it's not right. Like you think you're being the good guy and like you're just being a fucking bigot, bro.
Oh, and also spread misinformation to your massive platform as you please because you don't like someone.
That's what bad Hespara is. It's like a meme. Hezbollah in Hebrew means propaganda. And it's like a weird slur that people started picking up, calling just like Hespara means like a lying Jew, essentially.
It's funny. In this live stream from last night, he mischaracterizes the podcast, proving his interesting imagination. Apparently, Hespara means lying Jew, which clearly indicates anti-Semitic implications. Oh, but just so you know, guys, Ethan's telling a lie here. It's just a card Ethan loves to pull at every chance. Something to critique about me? You're an anti-Semite. Hespara actually comes from the Hebrew word for explaining. Matt Lieb, a Jewish man himself, by the way.
Dude, there's that one clip of Ethan Klein literally saying, why do people call him BB? And then Dan says, yeah, how does Benjamin turn into BB? And then Ethan Klein says, wait, his name is Benjamin? Like, bruh.
Clarified this on his Twitter. You can also just find this out through any Wikipedia or dictionary. And after that, maybe also drop a few bits of information to kind of suggest to your audience that you should go and tell a company, sponsor, or community that you come from the H3 podcast, if you know what I mean.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. This guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome. He's evil. I mean, he is just a disgusting fucking piece of shit. And I think it's insane that Good Mythical Morning and hire somebody.
I mean, it works. Your fans show up to the brigade. They just aren't the sharpest tools in the shed, though. You fool. He said that he works at Good Mythical Morning. He's not a guest. He's been working there since 2019. Gah, you've blown our cover now. I mean, look at this. They're brigading the video now. These are how many dislikes they got on a normal video. And here is the episode that came out after Ethan said,
he works for Good Mythical Morning. This guy works for Good Mythical Morning. I mean, he is pro-terrorism. He's evil. He is just a disgusting fucking piece of shit.
Look at how many dislikes they have now. And the comments. And then, for good measure, recklessly throw another comment.
When she comes out, please.
What are they just watching an Israeli showing clothing and shitting on her? Like, is that what they're actually doing?
Even though they're actually watching a TikTok of a woman in New York who wants to sell clothing that she named after individual hostages, and then call it a day at work. And then make some Instagram stories too. Ethan and Hila have built an empire, millions of subscribers, a dedicated fan base. With that kind of influence comes responsibility. But
it's also really funny because he just tries to guilt by association all of the people that he's upset at for, you know, insulting him and criticizing him, basically. So everyone just keeps trying to say like, well, you know what, Bad Empanada, you know what, Bad Empanada, you talked about, you had Bad Empanada on the show, you platformed Bad Empanada, and it's like, then why doesn't he just attack Bad Empanada? Shouldn't he be directing like all of this hatred to Bad Empanada instead? If this is the guy that's like promoting the lie, which is the lie in question here is a clip of Ethan Klein on his show talking about his children for minutes at a time. Why isn't that guy the main villain of your show? I'll tell you why. Because he's a pussy ass bitch. Because Ethan Klein is too much of a pussy ass bitch to fully go after Bad Empanada. Ethan Klein, literally, he cannot handle having to actually face Bad Empanada. So what he tries to do instead is, well, all these other people are associating with him. They're associating with him. And it's like, you want to play the association game, Ethan? Is that really what you want to do? Really? Okay.
But instead of using it wisely, they manipulate it. When you recklessly
He goes for what he perceives as easier targets. Oh, for sure. 100%.
throw around unchecked claims, some people are going to believe you. The audience takes what he says at face value. Or sometimes, not everybody is able to listen to every moment of the podcast. Look at what he says here.
And he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, unironically.
Ooh, I gotta go. That's all I can watch. I'm late for my hot dog eating contest. But damn, he tried to kill his wife? Here's what you would have seen and heard if you didn't tune out.
Or in a video game. But I do think, I mean, he is pro-terrorism.
The real problem is that it just doesn't stop with words. His audience absorbs the tone, the narrative.
Which is why it's so funny that this is the guy that's claiming that he's trying to go after everyone else for defamation. Like, the whole H3 podcast for the past year has just been the defamation and doxing podcast.
And the hostility. When you alter reality, when you mislead millions, when you encourage mob behavior, whether directly or indirectly, you're not only an entertainer, you're an abuser of power. So today, we're exposing how Hila and Ethan weaponize their influence and why it needs to stop.
If we can't have like words that we can all agree on, how are we ever going to talk about anything?
That's a great point, Hila. Let's first define some words to fully grasp what we're dealing with here. If this is your first time on Earth, there's this thing people often like to do called abuse.
Why do they always try to Photoshop you to be ugly? Because they're really mad. They're really mad that they can't call me ugly. And they're really mad that they can't find photos of me just like that they can use for thumbnails that are bad on their own. So they have to, right?
Abuse of power. This is the abuse of a position of power in order to harm other people, to bully them, or place them at a disadvantage, in order to procure personal advantages for oneself or one's favorites. Doxing describes the search for and publishing private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. Doxing is also a common tool used by dictatorships and authoritarian regimes to silence dissent, intimidate opponents, and control the population. Just to be clear, I am just defining phrases.
They're shaming you for showing cleavage. We're so back in 2016. Let's go. 2016, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Here.
I think he just needs to take a break.
Ethan frequently makes petty and accusatory remarks about Hasan, some of which veer into exposing aspects of his private life. He tries to expose that he might have a secret girlfriend, or how he is certain he has a housekeeper that he doesn't pay appropriately to socialist standards, and also that he communicates with her over a translator.
So I dropped a bomb on Instagram stories yesterday that since our friendship was a farce, I have zero problem discussing these things. I put out a question before, who's making his chicken? People have been wondering what's making his chicken. His fans and supporters say it's his mom, which is, they really think his mom is just slaving away all day. A grown-ass woman with a job who apparently just got a PhD, like she's like a real-ass person with a life. She's just at home cooking chicken for her son all day. So they're calling me a liar, which is good, because it means that if it's true, which it is, it might affect their opinion of him. I met her. She's a lovely Hispanic lady. She doesn't speak English. She cleans and cooks, works full-time, I believe. Hasan grunts and uses Google to talk to her. Because I was shocked, frankly, when I saw her. So I asked him questions. I was like, is she, I think she's undocumented, which is, I don't know that for sure, but that was my impression. To take advantage of people, I would have gone and got myself an undocumented worker to clean my house.
And on top of that, he demands Hasan to reveal his supposed housekeeper's wage. While Ethan spreads this misguided narrative around, here is a Twitch streamer who has also been to Hasan's house.
Cinderella, Austin, Will,
I've been there. Wait, am I not a real Hasan friend? Did I not get the full Hasan house experience? Am I not cool enough to meet the enslaved migrant,
No, Sean!
only Spanish-speaking housekeeper who's undocumented?
Could it be that Ethan just saw Hasan's mom, took one look at her, and assumed that she's an undocumented migrant worker that can't speak English? I just want to quickly say, I have been to a Turkish household before, and yes, it is absolutely true that a Turkish mother will cook an entire meal for their child, even when their son is like a fully grown adult. But that isn't the point. It isn't about whether Hasan has a housekeeper or not. Maybe he does. Who cares? The real issue is that
I already talked about this, but this is like... I think people who are children of immigrants understand this, that it takes a village is very real for a lot of non-American cultures. And there's a give and take, right? That you do everything you can. You do everything you can to help your family members, and they will do everything that they can to help you, right? That in the way that Hasan tries to, you know, like, I think he's paid for his brother's college tuition, and he is able to like provide for his family and like make sure that his mom is well taken care of and all this other stuff. It's not like she's paying back his debt because she's an undocumented migrant. It's just, oh, well, I love my son. I want to be able to take care of him, and I want to feed him food, and I want to make good food. And also, I can't speak on Turkish mothers, but what I will say with Arab mothers and from friends I've heard, Asian mothers, the opinion is very much so, what are you going to eat, fucking fast food all day and garbage? No, I'm making good food. It's just unconditional love from family members because everyone in that community would, in like this village or household, wants to take care of each other.
Ethan is spreading a baseless claim, prying into Hasan's private life in bad faith. Personal matters like this aren't public property, and being a public figure doesn't erase someone's right to privacy, even if these details aren't inherently damning. Ethan is still pushing a narrative to make Hasan seem inconsistent or hypocritical, shaping public perception.
My mom is a whole-ass doctor with subspecialties, and she cooks for me when I visit her. Yeah. Turkish mothers also shame you if you don't eat their food. Real, dude. Just like my mom, for real.
To fit his own agenda. And then we also have Ethan endorsing harassment towards Reddit employees and their families.
Or I'll say this. I do want to say Steve Huffman, Jen Wong, Drew Valero, do you think that is? Yeah. Christopher Slow. I would very much not want you to experience how terrible it is to have a snark subreddit digging into you and everyone close to you and organizing harassment in real life and online everywhere you go, because I just don't want that for anybody. It would suck to make a snark subreddit about the leadership of Reddit.
That probably exists.
Meanwhile, his entire show is just like the snark show where we pick out people that we don't like, harass and dox and threaten them.
Way that
you think so?
I mean,
well, let's go
nothing
join.
Redditors love more than complaining about Reddit.
I don't think so. I think we might be starting a movement. But if there is one, then God bless, let's join. You know what I mean? Let's join the movement.
I won't be joining that.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Considering Ethan has a massive platform, he is playing with fire by pointing out specific individuals and entertaining.
What's a snark subreddit? Genuinely asking. Oh, it's just sort of like TMZ for internet stuff. It's like a gossip subreddit where it's like, oh my God, did you see that this person said this? I always thought that was weird. That's what it is.
The idea of targeting them. The passive-aggressive justification of saying,
would very much not want you to experience,
is an indirect encouragement of scrutiny and potential harassment. With his audience influence, even a vague suggestion can inspire people to take action, whether he explicitly commands it or not.
This was sent to my sister today. She's 16 years old. They haven't slowed down. This is the type of shit my family receives every single day.
This is a form of intimidation rather than constructive criticism. Encouraging a mob mentality can incite people to actively participate in targeting individuals. While Ethan and his fans may argue that this isn't doxing because the names were already public, the issue is how he framed it.
The issue is the incitement to harass. That's the issue. Harassment isn't magically like legal if you're like a YouTuber. The issue is putting that person on the screen, framing them as anti-Semitic, despite that not being the case, and then telling your community, yeah, go shit on them, go, go, go. And then when you get criticized for it, you say, oh, listen, my only regret is not doing it to more people. Like, there's a reason I say on my show, don't tap the glass. And if you insist on taking the energy that you have and using it to communicate with other people in a way that is negative, you should only exclusively reserve that for your politicians, for your local politicians. That's what you should be doing. Because everything else is a waste of your time.
Love your not normal top.
Which is problematic and falls into a gray area of targeted exposure, a form of soft doxing. Just because something is publicly available doesn't mean it's ethical to broadcast it in a way that could lead to harassment. Executives at Reddit aren't the same as celebrities or politicians. They likely don't expect or want their names amplified in a way that could lead to direct targeting on a personal level. Not only does he dox public figures, but he also doxes private individuals. On the 27th of February, Klein posted a picture of the David Star tattoo. One person wrote, I used to watch you when you had only 15k subs. Glad that's behind me. Enjoy hell. Ethan then went live on his podcast the next day and scrolled through her comment
Yeah, the worst crime is that it just isn't what it used to be, entertaining. There's just no valuetainment anymore.
Section as content.
I'm obsessed with you guys when you only had 15k subs. Glad that's behind me. Enjoy hell. This guy's for real. Look this guy up. Enjoy hell. He said enjoy hell. Halfway there.
He's not. Oh, yeah.
Yes, he's a real guy.
Him 'cause he's not showing up for me.
Here he is. If anyone, let's see if I know, can identify him at all. Which one's Joe? Let's see. I think it's this guy. No, it is. Here, let me show you. That's him. That's him right there.
Ethan then calls him an anti-Semite.
Trust me, when I see an anti-Semite, I know I can spot him.
Wow.
And indirectly tells his community to find out where he works and tell his boss and family about it.
I don't know if any of you guys know him, but certainly anyone who would employ him, or probably even his parents, would be pretty disappointed to see that.
Like, this absolutely is a call to action. Isn't it very funny that they can't find any behavior of me endorsing harassment? That meanwhile, there's like 50 clips of Ethan Klein doing the same shit, doing this shit. So they have to edit chat messages to make it look like people are in agreement about something that people are not in agreement about.
Although, who knows?
This is a clear abuse of power because Ethan is leveraging his massive platform to dox, humiliate, and potentially endanger the private individual over a social media comment. Now, even when the last two
I don't understand how this isn't a TOS violation from Ethan. That's a very good question. It's funny because he always talks about how like Twitch has a wormy. He always talks about how Twitch has favoritism towards Hasan and then totally ignores the fact that he's broken YouTube TOS like 500 times at this point.
Words of his comment are not the friendliest of messages. Does it justify Ethan's reaction? Ethan knows that showing someone's Instagram profile on a live stream with thousands of viewers invites harassment. Saying, let's see if anyone can identify him at all, is asking your fans to investigate and expose him. And because his audience has a history of dogpiling people he calls out, this makes it an intentional act of incitement. This is a thinly veiled call for his audience to dig up personal information. Encouraging his fans to contact his boss and family is a direct attempt to ruin his life over an edgy comment. And what makes this all the more unsettling to a personal level, he begins to look at his mom's pictures, dragging innocent family members into the situation.
Here's his mom. I'm not going to click that for her. I'm not, you know what? F him. This is what you Here's your mom. I wonder if she knows what you do on social media on your free time. You love your mama. Good thing she's not Jewish, hey, Joe? I love it. I love it.
Absolutely
So anyway,
love the
best of luck
wonderful
to you out there,
community you've
Joe. I don't
created
know.
here. Thanks for being a safe space for NB and trans people alike. Twitch sucks so much too often. Non-binary pride, NFL, pansexual pride.
Sorry, this chat. Yes. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, dude, I would love to see a clip of me saying something that is even a fraction as bad as this is. Like, this is terrifying.
Who you are, but you're a fucking asshole. And shame on you.
The fact that he calls his fans foot soldiers. But the problem is that, like, when you do this, what happens is, and what has been happening is that you alienate a lot of the normal people in your audience, and you'll have
It
a
is so funny that this man looks so crazy all the time, and they then Photoshop you for thumbnails.
Yes. Doctor, stop. They're called foot soldiers because of Ethan's foot fetish arc. Stop. What happens is that if you want diehard, like, cult member type of fans like this who are down with randomly harassing strangers who typed "go to hell" on a photo with your wife in it or whatever, you end up attracting a smaller but way more dedicated audience, and you lose a vast majority of your normal audience members, which is why his, like, viewership is, like, halved since last year or the year before that. Meanwhile, all of the people that he's talked about have gotten more relevant.
Yeah.
And look at his eyes at this moment. I mean, this is quite irrelevant, but
No,
look at how he
Langio.
is hyper-focused in, with vacant eyes glazed over this guy's mom menacingly. The silent moments are deafening, and that occasional...
And this is the worst thing, by the way, right? Like, in my opinion, I think you have to be able to... I think to be, like, a funny YouTuber, you aren't allowed to care too much about issues. If you care too much about an issue, then you become too entrenched in it, and you stop being able to be as funny when you're, like, personally very disturbed by this stuff. Which makes the podcast feel really awkward because it's like you're just watching this guy be crazy. It's like, this feels weird. Maybe I'll watch something a little bit more lighthearted. I wanted to watch a comedy podcast, not this.
Love it. I love it.
It's just unsettling. You could submit that clip for an audition to be an antagonist in a movie like No Country for Old Men, and you would get the role. The original comment, while harsh, is still just an Instagram comment from a random person. Ethan, a multi-millionaire with millions of followers, is punching down hard on someone who most likely has zero power or influence. So this makes Ethan's behavior even more blatantly abusive because he publicly defamed a random person, dragged innocent people into it, incited career and social consequences, and potentially endangered someone's life. This is doxing, and for those that believe it isn't, because once again, his profile isn't private or wasn't private at this moment, you have to understand that Ethan's intent was 100% to expose. Actively highlighting his profile in images, zooming into faces, and identifying persons brings attention to personal details that wouldn't normally be so widely seen. It turns a private individual into a public target. He is actively digging for anything that could identify the person. His crew member managed to identify something recognizable and the location that particular thing is in.
That he's in front of, that's in...
Is that right?
Yeah, it's at the...
Sad thing is that he was a fan. Chad, I'm going to tell you something true. I'm going to tell you something really sad. For anyone who's not done content, it's actually one of the most demoralizing things to find out that you made a fan leave. Like, it actually, I've talked about this before, but a big reason why I like to stream is because I think about chat being sad if I'm not there. And then it makes me stream because I'm like, oh, but people want to come and see the show. I don't want to deprive them of the show that they want to see. No, it's only right. And I actually, like, the times that people in the community have criticized me, I enjoy that because it lets me listen to the criticism. And I feel like if I was a fan of a show and then the second I criticized the person running it, they immediately like banned me or shit on me or whatever, I would be like so depressed. I would be so sad. Like I would get stressed from that. So I think about that experience and I'm like, I try to make sure that everyone who's here feels heard, or like if you have genuine criticisms, you know, I do want to hear the criticisms. What is this? And you get paid. Like, are we pretending you stream for fun? If you think that streamers only stream for money, you have a very poor understanding of streaming. There are a lot of people that stream on Twitch, that tried to start streaming on Twitch for money. The problem is that you aren't producing content that people like when you're just shoveling garbage down people's throat on Twitch. And you lose the motivation and desire to keep doing it long term. Like, you can disagree with me. I don't really care, but I'm just telling you, you will not be able to continue to stream on Twitch unless you like creating content. You're lucky you found an audience and you're getting paid, are you not? What's this I don't understand what the criticism is. Sorry, let me give an actual example of what I'm talking about personally on a personal level. When I was streaming, the first like year or two of streaming, I was making less than I would have made if I just went and applied for a job in accounting and used my degree. I kept streaming because I liked streaming. If I wanted to make money, it would have made more sense to quit when I was making nothing, when I was making like barely enough to cover anything, and just go get a job as an accountant and then start working on my CPA. And currently, if I went and got my CPA, I'd probably be making more working in accounting. I kept streaming because I like streaming, just like every other streamer. I promise you, streamers don't stream because they want to make money and that's it. They start streaming because they like streaming. Again, you don't have to believe me, but it's just true. You can just go to any streamer and ask them, and they will tell you. Finance bro denim, no, please. The CPA life is not for you. No, I mean, I think it's like the 117 score. I actually really like mundane tasks. And I love sitting on my computer and I love Excel, okay? I am a fucking loser, I will be honest with you. But it's more that I like the creative aspects of streaming. And I love how many people you can meet and how many friends you can make. And these are all people that will share your interests. And it's like fulfilling. I wouldn't mind doing that, which is why I originally got the degree that I got in the first place. But yeah. Do CPAs, Freudian slip, clip it and ship it, boys. Do CPAs make a lot? Sorry, I'm oblivious. I'm an illustrator. I mean, you can easily make 6 figures as a CPA. It's just that getting your CPA, this is how, I haven't studied for my CPA. I want to do it eventually just for bragging purposes. But the CPA exam is like close to the level of like the bar from my understanding. At least that's what people I know who've gotten the CPA have said. And that's what all my accounting professors said. And that's also what my law professors said, where it's like up there with the bar. It's a lot of memorizing nonsense and stupid bullshit and garbage.
Streaming.
But I can't comment on it since I haven't taken the bar or the CPA. So you can absolutely make 6 figures as a CPA. Highly exploitable during tax season, though. Yeah. Silly Rex, thank you for the 5 giftos. Denims is streaming. Thank you. Thank you.
From casual browsing to an invasive search for personal details. And Ethan is indirectly suggesting to his audience to investigate further, even without explicitly.
Sorry, last thing. Really quick with Cheddar. Clearly, the top streamers enjoy their income. If streaming earned them no money, you think every top streamer would still go live daily? I highly doubt it. Dude, Asmongold exists. How can you think this when Asmongold exists? That guy is one of the richest people on this platform, and he lives with roaches, mice, dead raccoons, and mold. I'm telling you really quickly right now, any streamer who streams for every day for more than 8 hours a day is addicted to streaming. They don't need the money at a certain point. I'm telling you, XQC does not need the money. He can quit today. I'm telling you, Asmongold can quit today. They have enough money at this point that all they have to do is invest it and get returns, and they live like, I mean, Asmongold lives so meager, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. It's fine. They like the attention. They like streaming. They either like the creative aspect of it or they like the fame. Any big streamer that streams 4 days a week or 5 days a week, those people are there more for the money and they want to go experience life. That it's a job that they really like, that makes them a lot of money. But anyone who's streaming every day, I'm telling you, they're doing it because they like the creative aspects or they like the fame. And a lot of these people could retire now. They could retire themselves and their family members and their friends today. But they don't, because it's not just about the money. It's about other things. But he wants the money. I don't know how else to explain this to you. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain this to you. When you eat $1 fucking steaks, and your best friends are the roaches that live in your shirt, he doesn't need any more money. It's not even like he's spending it. Elon Musk, I get at least a little bit. He spends the money. Asmongold doesn't even spend the money. He doesn't leave his house. He literally doesn't even... Asmongold has literally said he doesn't care about making the money. He never even spends money. Asmongold is literally just like the epitome of he wants the attention and the fame and likes making content and is addicted to making content. It's kind of like, you guys know the meme about like the boomers that go back to work after retiring because they just don't have anything to do in their day. Like they don't need to work their job anymore. Anyone here who works in offices who had like a boomer retire and then come back because they were like, yeah, life was pretty boring without this job, so I'm back. Ask any streamer when they were banned what they did, and they will tell you, I waited for the ability to stream again. I just sat in front of my computer waiting to be able to stream again. It's just true. Okay, anyways, going back to the video.
Telling them to harass the person, it often leads to harassment or threats, which is just what happened. Here is a lovely DM he received from somebody.
So shout out to Ethan Klein that my mom, who is an art teacher at an impoverished public school, has to deal with this shit. You are truly the morally superior YouTuber.
See, the power imbalance here also creates a culture of fear. The person he just doxed has below 200 followers, just an average person. Ethan has millions of followers on a variety of platforms. When someone like Ethan calls attention to a regular person like him, the regular person faces unprecedented levels of harassment they're completely unprepared for. At the end of the day, criticism, especially from a random person online, does not justify exposing their identity or opening them up to mass harassment. Ethan has countless ways to respond that don't involve punching down at someone who lacks the same platform, protection, and influence.
Harassment that me and Ela are receiving is just genuinely unfucking comparable.
Ethan constantly fights for silencing his critics and for the removal of free speech. One incident took place when Ethan Klein
He just likes the drama and clout.
Oh, for sure.
decided that he had enough of the H3 Snark subreddit, r/H3 Snark.
And it's so crazy because the H3 Snark subreddit, if you go in it, it's like the worst thing that they do is that they're kind of mean. Like it's just I've seen way worse for a variety of people.
Snark is a community on Reddit dedicated to criticizing and discussing Ethan Klein and the H3H3 podcast. It focuses on calling out hypocrisy, controversies, and questionable behavior by Klein and his podcast crew. Members of the subreddit often analyze his statements, business practices, and legal disputes, sometimes with a critical or sarcastic tone. Can you find hateful comments on there? Probably. But you know where I found tons of hateful comments without even having to scroll down much? This place. This freedom of discussing such topics would soon come to an end when Ethan posted this on his Instagram story.
I can't wait till I find out who the snarkers are, because I'm gonna sue them.
He threatened to sue the mods of the subreddit, claiming defamation and harassment.
Listen, guys, at this point, you're totally fucked. Here's the thing. There's a subpoena that's going to come. You can't erase your data. Even if you didn't log in, we're going to get your IP address. We're going to find out your information.
Dude, you're fighting Reddit moderators, man. You listen, if I'm ever at the point where I'm fighting Reddit moderators, dude, like where I'm threatening to sue Reddit moderators.
When the D69 podcast, aka Dennis Stream, exists.
Like, please, dude. I need, yeah, I need God at that point. Please tell me to go find God. I remember when Nadia doxed a hater and literally everyone was against her, but Ethan gets a pass for some reason. Yeah.
Information. We have forensic, digital, it's all part of it.
Also, like, a big portion of the internet just, like, hates when women do things. It's just, again, it's just true.
A lawsuit that's going to drop in about 3 weeks that you guys are going to fucking love. I cannot wait. I am so excited. I am giddy to share this with you guys.
But let's be real, this isn't about justice, it's about control. Legal intimidation isn't a new tactic for Ethan. These are average Reddit users like you and me. Imagine being so insecure about internet criticism that you'd rather use your money and legal team to shut people up instead of just ignoring it, or maybe reflecting upon it. How many
What law did the Reddit moderators even break here? The Meanie Bobini law? They were really mean to him and his wife, okay? Have some fucking sympathy. All right? They crossed the line that has never been crossed before. Everyone knows Ethan Klein's subreddit and Ethan Klein's show have never been mean to anyone ever. Okay? And they did something that has never been done before. Also, he said he hates his lawyer, said Section 230 means nothing can be done. Yeah. He literally said, my lawyer sucks, dude. My lawyer can't do shit. Section 230, they fucking can't do shit. You can't sue Reddit for the stuff that other people post on their website. Fucking bullshit.
Many random Reddit users have the resources to fight a lawsuit. Ethan Klein, a millionaire, knows this. Even if these lawsuits don't hold up in court, just the threat of legal fees and harassment is enough to silence critics. The type of environment this cultivates is one similar to countries led by dictatorships. Abusing by silencing critics through censorship and intimidation ensures control over the narrative and creates an environment of fear and obedience. He calls out everyone associated with his so-called enemy. People correcting him? That's a no-go in Ethan's world. How dare Ludwig make a correction on a sloppy mistake in Ethan's content nuke video?
Ethan posted a meme screenshot and reversed the order of events. Fucking Destiny fan confirmed. What a fucking lapdog you are. How pathetic can you be to fucking curl up on Hasan's lap like a good pussycat? Prefer him. What a gutless coward. You really got no problem here? Suck my dick. And by the way, having no problem with terrorist sympathizing, anti-Semitism, but God forbid Ethan gets the order of the rising star wrong. What?
Talking about anti-Semitism as Ethan Klein, the biggest provider of anti-Semitic content on the internet, is like crazy. You didn't do the clip justice? Sorry, you're right. You're right.
Work.
There's
No.
the answer is not on social media, it's with lawyers and reporters.
My lawyer can't do fucking shit, and it's driving me crazy.
I don't know what to tell you.
They go, oh, 230, you can't do anything. Really? I can't believe that. That a website just allows this level of harassment, and it's just like, oh, 230, you can't fucking...
The best part about Ethan Klein is that there's so much shit that he says that can apply to him. It's so good.
That's just 230.
Section 230, they can't be held responsible for what their users post.
But
Work.
There's no.
Dumb fuck.
Section 230.
So that's Ludwig for you.
Can't do shit.
He's a hypocrite, of course, obviously. I mean, who isn't, right?
We all might be a bit familiar with Ethan Klein not liking Hasan. And because he wants everyone to not like Hasan as much as he does, he deliberately misinforms in order to fuel a narrative. One of those narratives that he wants everyone to believe is that Hasan is a terrorist sympathizer. So, in this segment of his content nuke, he distorts what Hasan covers here and also deliberately leaves out some footage.
They take it over, and they tell the people in the ship, it's usually like mostly Filipino people, Filipino crews, and they're like, all right, well, we got no problems with you, but you're coming with us.
Ethan then criticizes what he says.
What an incredible way to characterize having a gun in your face. Hasan is asking us not to believe our own eyes as we watch terrorists hostilely kidnap the crew.
And claims that they have been MIA for a year.
And once again,
Which, by the way, literally at the time of this video releasing, this was not true. And the crew was released. All of the crew members were released, and they were all unharmed.
the crew is still MIA for over a year, prisoners to a terrorist organization. But don't worry, guys, Hasan says they have no problem with them.
However, these people did in fact say this to the hostages. And it is not true that they've been missing for a year without updates, as the kidnappers let the Red Cross, a global humanitarian organization that provides health services and operates in conflict zones, came on board twice by September 2024, 5 months before Ethan's video came out. He shows the headline of this article. When you scroll down on the same article, you only need to read a few lines until you see this. The seafarers, some of whom have been at sea for nearly 2 years, have been held against their will with only limited contact with their families, friends, and loved ones. Their location was known and their well-being was kept updated. This information isn't hard to obtain. All hostages were released alive 1 week and 2 days before Ethan published his content nuke, which is plenty of time to fact-check your hardly worked-on information bomb. Why didn't he know or correct it?
Also, when you're working on a video already for fucking 2 months, dude, like... you can give it another week.
It kind of looks like he doesn't actually give a shit about the movement itself and is just interested in making Hasan look bad.
Next claim is that it's owned by an Israeli company. It's not. It's being chartered by a Japanese company. And the boat's owners are registered in the Isle of Man.
No.
This one was really funny. Just ignoring the fact that in the Wikipedia screenshot you showed, it shows who owns it, and they're Israeli millionaires or billionaires.
Not true. It's owned by Israeli tycoon Abraham Ungar. Takes 2 seconds to find that out. Or you can finish reading the screenshot Ethan showed. Ethan is right.
Like, this is what I mean when I say, dude, there's so many clips of Ethan. There's so many clips of Ethan Klein that you can use that's just like him talking about himself.
Popular creator. How exactly am I supposed to get through to a person and convince her wrong when she's literally disproving herself on her own stream and then ignoring what just came out of her mouth 5 seconds earlier?
That the ship is registered in the Isle of Man, but the screenshot he shares states that it's owned by the Israeli tycoon. So, with a few clicks and clacks with a keyboard connected to a computer, a below-average internet connection, we've just learned all this. Why misrepresent this? And now that it is declared that Hasan was right after all, what does that mean for Ethan's case?
You want to fucking bring a ship through here? We're going to take it. So that's exactly what the Houthis start doing. And they're like, guess what, dog? No more trade to Israel. If you are sending ships into Israel, if you are owned by an Israeli subsidiary, if you're owned by an Israeli corporation, we're going to take over your ship. Guess what, bitch? It's our fucking territorial boundary, and we're going to enforce this until you stop doing genocide in Gaza.
So let's review his claims. His first claim is that the boat is headed for Israel. It's not. It's going from Turkey to India.
Now that we've caught Ethan misrepresenting facts again, and the ship was indeed owned by 2 Israeli, is it possible that this could have led to speculation about its actual destination, Israel instead of India? And given that tensions in the Red Sea region are high, could it be that some ships with Israeli ties might avoid publicly revealing that they are heading to Israel to reduce security risks? It's certainly a possibility. But is this what Hasan claimed what is happening here? Let's see what Hasan said again.
No more trade to Israel. If you are sending ships into Israel, if you are owned by an Israeli subsidiary, if you're owned by an Israeli corporation, we're going to take over your ship. You cannot fucking use this trade route anymore. Guess what? It's our fucking territorial boundary, and we're going to enforce this until you stop doing genocide in Gaza.
The Houthis stated the Houthis themselves framed the hijacking as a targeting of Israeli-affiliated assets in the region. In the past, they have stated that they would target ships or vessels tied to Israel, especially if they were in or near Yemeni waters or the Red Sea. Furthermore, Hasan talks about the Houthi strategy, which Ethan twists around. He takes it out of context.
They're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
I find it disturbing that Hasan thinks that a slowdown of imports is going to cause Jews to flee Israel. 80% of Israelis were born there.
Which is not what he's saying. He's saying that if you want active change in a country and you want the people in that country to be in favor of X, Y, or Z change, you have to convince the apathetic people that actually you need to care about this regardless of whether you want to care about it or not. This goes back to the Asmongold clip where Asmongold is like, why are you blocking the roads? My DoorDash driver that's bringing me my 5th McDonald's and Dr. Pepper of the day is going to be late now. What's the goal in that? What's the purpose in doing that? It's to make apathetic people who don't want to be informed become informed and then demand that their state do something to make these people stop. That's the goal of protesting. The goal of protesting is to mildly inconvenience enough people until they go to Benjamin Netanyahu and say, dude, I don't give a fuck. You need to do whatever you have to make this stop. You need to do whatever you have to because this is not acceptable. That's it. That's one of many goals in protesting, but
there and do not have citizenship anywhere else. So where do you want them to go, Hasan? Back to Poland or back to the Arab countries they were forced out of?
What a disingenuous liar, by the way. It's just, it's more lies. It's more lies. A vast majority of Arab countries where they were kicked out of those Arab countries, one, it's important to note the countries that were under French occupation, aka under Nazi occupation, that forcibly removed Jewish people from these countries. And two, it undermines the conversation about how Israel is being promised as a safe place. So is it a shocker then that people would want to go there? Like this is, it's just a very convenient talking point to pretend like, it's the evil Arabs, obviously, that they forcibly kicked all of the Jews out because all the Arab people are anti-Semitic.
Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
By telling the Jews.
There were literally massive anti-Jewish riots in literally all of these countries, bro. Do you want to use literally a couple more times and hope that your crack pipe source suddenly becomes true? It's not true. I don't know what to tell you. It's not true.
Jews of Israel to go back where they came from, Hasan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white colonizers. This is despite the fact that 60% of Jews in Israel are actually native to the Middle East.
The part where Hasan talks about what led to the Houthi attack is left out by Ethan entirely because it is not quite convenient for Ethan to have Hasan cover a story about an act of resistance against Israel when trying to make Hasan look bad.
And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence, right? So like their goal is to film it and show it to the world so like other other companies that don't want to risk having this happen to their product, having this happen to their ships, literally are like, okay, we're not going to use the trade route anymore. All of a sudden, if you don't use the trade route, trade gets more expensive for the West. All of a sudden, if you can't use that trade route, the Israeli port is going to get bankrupt. Israel is not going to be able to get the materials in time that they need for waging their war. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal. The goal is to be like, yeah, your shit sucks. Okay, well then stop, doing genocide in Gaza.
And it's funny, Ethan always talks about how comments and donations won't help Palestine and the cause.
Creators for Palestine raised $1.6 million. That's fantastic. Literally negligible. They've received billions of fucking dollars. It's a good thing. Has $1.6 million had an outcome on anything happening in Gaza? Absolutely fucking not. Let's talk about real activism. Let's talk about enacting meaningful change. Total fucking failures.
Well, I wonder if this is a more fitting way to help the cause for Ethan. Also, here are a couple of examples of ships changing or hiding their route and destination. The Y is Honest, a North Korean cargo ship, was seized by the US in 2019 for attempting to smuggle coal. It had attempted to conceal its route and destination to evade detection. Chinese fishing vessels have been found employing North Korean crews, violating UN sanctions. These crews were concealed and transferred between ships to avoid detection, indicating deliberate misrepresentation of crew compositions and potential destinations. Ethan wraps up this section by trying to take away the legitimacy of Hasan's words.
And they tell the people in the ship, it's usually like mostly Filipino people, Filipino crews.
Oh.
And they're like, all right, well, we got no problems with you, but you're coming with us. We're taking over the ship.
What an incredible way to characterize having a gun in your face. Hasan is asking us not to believe our own eyes as we watch terrorists hostilely kidnap the crew.
Is Hasan asking you not to believe your own eyes? Was it not enough to stay true to the facts, that they indeed most likely captured the ship in international waters, but near their controlled territory? A year-long hostage situation for a seafarer is hard enough as it is. Did Ethan have to make sure to misrepresent facts in order to manipulate?
This is like this is literally the same exact strategy that the IDF uses about everything. It's not bad enough that innocent civilians died on October 7th. They have to make up the beheading babies talking point, even though there has been zero proof that babies were beheaded. It's not bad enough that there were hostages taken. They have to spread a lie about systemic mass rape campaigns. Guess what, guys? It's bad enough that hostages are being taken, period. It's bad enough that there are people that have to be afraid for their life. That's bad enough. You don't have to make up more shit. But in classic IDF fashion, they have to lie. They have to lie. They have to lie to make everything be as bad as possible, because it's much harder to have to go in and correct all these narratives than it is to lie, because lying is OP. Precisely. It's bad enough that there were rapes. It doesn't have to be systemic. Precisely. Instead of talking about and giving space for rape victims to talk about their experience, and for us to all say, yeah, this is terrible. I mean, it's a terrorist organization. This is, yes, all of us here agree. We have to spread this campaign that Hamas on October 7th was executing a plan to commit systemic mass rapes. Like, what the fuck?
Manipulate perceptions and strengthen his own argument, it would certainly help in appearing on the high ground and convincing others more easily, wouldn't it? This entirely unneeded situation was made more dramatic so people will finally side with him against his personal warfare against his nemesis, Hasan. One case of Ethan Klein taking it upon himself to push an unchecked claim as fact is one where he alleges that a rescued Israeli hostage was continually during her captivity under Hamas. He uses this story in his Hasan Piker content nuke as a narrative. But there's just one problem. Nowhere in her interview does she say this happened. The girl herself never once stated she was sexually assaulted. Yet, Ethan presents this as undeniable truth. Denims, a Twitch streamer that watched this segment of Ethan's content nuke live on Twitch, she questions the claim.
Wait, wasn't this disproven? Was this clip from her disproven? Is he gonna play the clip of her?
But Ethan, instead of reassessing facts and claims, he reacts.
How do you disprove firsthand testimony? First of all, she's a fucking bitch. Shame on you. Fuck you. How dare you? You say you fucking support women and you sit here and you fucking giggle and laugh at this girl who was raped.
Sorry, now I'm
and then
laughing
immediately
because I forgot that he calls me a fucking evil bitch in this again. I'm fucking, dude, every time it comes out of his mouth, every time he says, you vile fucking bitch, I just like, I have like an automatic response. Oh, fuck, dude. All right, sorry.
you say, I believe all women, and they say, oh, wasn't she lying? This whole fucking thing is so hard for Israelis to process it. You're not going to acknowledge what just happened? She will, to say that she's lying. This is a disgusting human being. She's a vile
She's a
piece of shit.
vile
This entire
piece of
movement
shit.
is rotten to the core. It is a joke. And yes, she is a bitch. Somebody that laughs in the face of other rape victims and immediately calls them liars. That's a
Except, obviously, as this person's going to point out, this woman isn't the woman in the documentary that claimed to have been raped. He just doesn't give a fuck about actually listening to women because Ethan Klein is a massive misogynistic bitch. And instead uses the people in this documentary as props for his personal war against people who don't like him.
Of a person.
Okay, before I continue, since this is such a sensitive topic, I try not to put too much of my own words and just stay true to known facts and information that exist. The girl in the interview, which was part of a documentary about women who talk about their experiences as hostages, some of them talk about sexual assault, but this woman in particular did not, nor has she ever stated in any interview that she experienced. So Denims is not incorrect here. Ethan saying she was a victim of being continually is just wrong. Ethan does not and cannot have any proof for those statements because there is no proof. And by the way, this woman experienced harassment after her release as a hostage. Some Israelis seem to have found her to talk too kindly about her experience as a hostage and became a target on her own social media platforms. Ethan is not only re-traumatizing a former hostage by falsely claiming she was a victim of sexual assault, but he's also using a hostile rhetoric to silence anyone who challenges him. He paints Denims as a villain.
First of all, she's a bitch. Shame on you. Fuck you.
Misrepresents her reaction at this moment and smears her image.
Somebody that laughs in the face of other fucking victims and immediately calls them liars, that's a fucking bitch of a person.
All because she didn't agree with his claim. He also completely distorts her words. He now claims that Denims called this woman a liar, which she did not.
Wait, wasn't this disproven?
In reality, the only person spreading lies in this situation is Ethan. His refusal to engage in constructive dialogue or acknowledge the truth fosters an environment where misinformation thrives. His unverified and false claims not only damage his credibility, but also encourage a toxic culture in his community, where anyone who disagrees with him is targeted. Another case of Ethan and Hila twisting the narrative to how
What does this one mean? Wait. Fat bottom lip phenotype is a giveaway? What does that mean? Bro, these people are on some fucking advanced racism shit that I can't even fucking comprehend. My mind, genuinely, it cannot even comprehend it. These people are inventing slurs faster than I can keep up with, dude. What? I don't even know which form of racism. This is some 1800s racism. This is some fucking ranked racism, man. Dude, I can't. I can't, dude. I feel like every single day I have the displeasure of learning some new racist phrenology nonsense. And I'm like, okay, I surely I've learned all of them now against my will. Surely. I guess now I've learned it. And then nope. Bro, they're like fucking, they're ranked celestial, dude. They're ranked fucking challenger in racism. I can't keep up. I can't keep up. I fucking can't keep up, dude. One above all racism, man. Dude, fuck.
is targeted. Another case of Ethan and Hila twisting the narrative to how they see fit is one where Hila's potential collaboration with an artist was rejected for reasons unspecified.
The artist I wanted to collaborate with decided I don't want to be associated because I'm Israeli. Here's the quote. Sorry, I can't be associated with this company. Thanks for considering. I followed them for years, always supported them, and I have an ongoing painting of his at my house. And this is the result of Hasan's type of activism. Should I out him, Hila?
Dude, the part where Hila's like, I can't believe they would stop talking to us just for being Israeli Jews. And the email just says, I can't be associated with H3 anymore. It's like, you know, you posted the email that we can all see. Right?
I don't know if is it morally okay to say who he is. Whatever you guys think, I don't care.
What an asshole response to, like, it's almost like he's... Yeah, and by
yeah, like the artist woke up and they're like, actually, your shit sucks. I can't work here anymore. Actually, your designs are uggo as fuck.
Like, he doesn't even dignify you with the response of, like, it's like, no, you actually, I can't fucking be associated with this company.
I'm just annoyed because it's not the first one. There's another person right now that is doing the same thing to me. Somebody that I'm already working with.
This is the result of Hasan's activism. This is what it resounds to. Alienation, hate, racism, and zero fucking progress for people in Gaza. Zero. I'm going to think about if I want to blast him or not.
Hasan personally did this. He personally made my beautiful wife, Hila Klein, cry. He did this. My goddess wife. It's all your fault, Hamas Parker.
I mean, because, like, it's not right. Like, you think you're being the good guy and like, you're just being a fucking bigot, bro. You're nothing more than a bigot. And also just not even dignified.
This is off of an email that said, sorry, I don't want to be associated with H3 anymore.
You with, like, a reasonable response. Just so short and fucking rude. What a bitch. Scumbag. Why would you blame someone for something because of where they were born? This is what racism is. But apparently it's totally fine all of a sudden.
It's just, they're so delusional that if they think, if I'm not the person that you want to associate with, then good luck in the world. Because, like, I'm as progressive, you know, I left Israel. I don't even live there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I should be your model Jewish person.
Why are you...
Yoav is a Yoav Galant is a good guy. I should be your model Jewish person.
KEKW.
Dude, how do you not recognize that you sound insane when you're saying the term, I should be the model Jew? What the fuck is happening? What's going on? Whoa, dude. Oh my God. I like this text. Ethan gets bored and starts playing a video.
I should be your best friend.
Instead of addressing any potential reasons or questioning why this response was received, Ethan and Hila spun the entire situation into an attack against Hila for being Israeli, straight into playing the victim card when a situation doesn't suit them. Let's read what exactly the message said again. I'm sorry, I can't be associated with this company. Thanks for the consideration. Is it maybe possible the brand's rejection had nothing to do with Hila's nationality? Instead, it had everything to do with the growing controversy surrounding the H3 podcast and its declining reputation. Ethan has stirred up multiple public scandals. Companies are simply less interested in associating with that kind of baggage. Ethan and Hila have reframed themselves as victims, immediately jumping to the conclusion that this was purely because of discrimination of her Israeli identity, redirecting the audience's outrage into the abyss, towards the unknown entity. According to Ethan and Hila, anyone who disagrees with Israel's actions is automatically an anti-Semite, ignoring the fact that political criticism and discrimination are not the same thing. This rhetoric is dangerous because it shuts down all discussion and labels legitimate concerns as bigotry. Ethan and Hila are creating a culture where no one can question him without facing extreme backlash. They twisted the company's entire short message to the narrative that they are victims and Israeli, despite the reality. There is also a pattern that keeps repeating. Ethan keeps getting facts wrong. Ethan confidently presents something as fact.
It's this meme again and again. Fucking Hasan. Why would Hasan do this to me?
Only for it to be corrected, and instead of taking a moment to verify, his first instinct is to go on the attack. Rather than taking a correction with humility, Ethan's response is often aggressive. he insults the person.
I have decreed, let it be known, that Denims is a dumb fucking bitch.
Calls him names.
What a fucking lapdog you are. How pathetic can you be to fucking curl up on Hasan's lap like a good pussycat? Purr for him, bitch.
Then, after the barrage of insults, sometimes,
Denims is
not
streaming.
always,
Denims is streaming. I hereby decree that Denims is streaming. Abra, thank you for the 5 gift subs. I hope you guys have been enjoying the new 5 gift sub announcement. I hope you guys have been liking it. I've been liking it a lot. I thought I would only have it for a day, but honestly, I like it so much I kind of want to keep it for a little bit, a little bit longer.
Ethan realizes he was actually wrong.
She is an ex-Destiny
streaming.
orbiter. In fact, it's rumored, I'm pretty sure that they had a sexual relationship.
A bit later after getting
I don't know why I
corrected.
thought that. I swear.
Denims is streaming.
Why I thought he's just writing fan fiction, dude. Oh my god. Slipstream, thank you for the 5 gift
Denims
subs.
is streaming.
Dark Animal, thank you for the 5. Contra, thank you for the 5. Thank you guys so much. Oh, Bobby, thank you for the 5. Denims is streaming.
I read that somewhere, but that's okay. My bad.
Denims is streaming.
Apparently, she did not have sex with Destiny, although
They want to cancel me for defending my service in the IDF when I decided to be put in the field instead of the office.
The button presses are so crazy.
I spoke out of turn. She did not have sex with him. She was friends with him. She benefited
Deflecting.
from him. She did not have sex with him.
That is a fact.
So, I know I should apologize once again to Denims, the dumb fucking bitch that I hate.
Seen
Hey, just because I was wrong about her sleeping with Destiny, I spoke out of turn there, and I apologize for that, even though I despise her for every other conceivable reason. Is there anything else I should emphasize?
This kind of behavior has...
Denims is streaming.
Oh my god. Yeah, I could really feel how heartfelt that was, man. I really could. Alec, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thanks. Thank you. Do you accept his apology? Yeah, I accept his apology. I do still really like that when he... I hope you guys like the intro to this video, by the way. Because I love how he tried his best to not call me a bitch, but like he couldn't help thinking misogynistic things.
Denims, by the way, was
Like
the
this
real
part?
villain of the video. And I think that it went a long way to showing just what an evil, hateful fucking... And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people... Oh, no?
No,
Did I not go there?
Just don't invalidate.
Okay, let me do
Yeah,
this. Let me do
exactly.
this. Let me do this. I'm not going to go there.
You can think of much
appreciate
worse things to say about her that are totally acceptable, to be honest.
You want to give me examples?
No, please, by all means.
Like the C word?
No, I'm not saying no.
The best part about all this is that he realized how crazy he fucking looked originally when he was talking about me. Like he looked insane. He looked like unwell. See, this is why I love being friends with normies, right? Because normies don't really follow any of this stuff. They mostly just like see the memes and stuff. And I was hanging out with one of my more normie friends. And she was like, oh my God, dude, I'm going to be honest. I haven't really seen you mentioned at all, but during all of this so far, I've just gotten like clip after clip of like Ethan looking crazy and then like screaming about stuff. And it's really funny. Oh God, dude. Anyways.
real consequences. Not everyone watches every episode, and by the time Ethan admits he was wrong, if he ever does, his audience may have already clicked off the video, missing the entire part where he confirms that he was incorrect after all. The person bashed is left dealing with the fallout. The reputation is stained, and many of Ethan's viewers will never even know that he got the facts wrong in the first place. When you have a platform as big as Ethan's, you have a responsibility to get things right. But instead, he repeatedly spreads false information, attacks those who correct him, and barely acknowledges when he's wrong.
You got got. You got there.
But I mean, like, ultimately, I'm still
This is regarding altering the Rising Star of the Year image.
feel like it's not that material, considering, again, that she was nominated once and won.
Yeah, you used the wrong image. And you reversed the years, which again, I do agree, slightly makes it worse, the way that you presented it versus reality.
I disagree.
His audience, whatever he may have left, trusts him. But misinformation combined with aggressive responses to correction creates a toxic cycle where the truth often takes a backseat to entertainment. If you're going to critique others, you need to hold yourself to the same standard. Getting facts wrong happens. But how you handle corrections say everything about your integrity. The way Ethan treats his mistakes, especially when it involves...
Well, like, and this is my biggest gripe, or like, not even gripe, like, I feel bad for like normal H3 fans. Like, I really actually do. I'm not joking. I'm serious. I feel a little bit bad for them because they don't want to believe that their content creator, their preferred content creator, he lies to them and he doesn't retract things and he doesn't care about actively or correctly issuing statements. Like, he just wants the bad guys in his eyes to lose and he wants to win. And it's sad. It's just like really sad. Like, listen, Chad, I've said it a million times before. I'm going to be wrong because I don't know if you guys know this. Everyone is going to be wrong eventually. Everyone in here has been wrong. Everyone in here will be wrong again in the future. You will be. It's going to happen. It's fine. It's like literally it's normal. Not me, Smile. I'm perfect. That's just how it is, right? The hope is that when people tell you that you're wrong, you can either clarify and say, sorry, that was misphrasing, that was poor phrasing, I'm trying to talk about this. Or you just apologize and then just move on. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it literally, it's really not that big of a deal. But to consistently lie to your audience and then double down, and then triple down, and then quadruple down, and then pretend like you didn't lie, like, man. Any prolific YouTuber also knows you can edit out parts of the video that you already posted. He could cut out the parts that he got wrong. He just doesn't want to. Yeah. And it's like, it's sad. It's really sad. It's just... Yeah, but I feel like normal H3 fans would catch on with some of the discrepancies eventually. Oh, for sure. I mean, that's why he's like losing so much of his audience. Like, I mean, his the H3 podcast episodes, I haven't checked it in a sec. Let me see. These episodes just literally get less viewership. Like, let's go back. Let's go back, like, and this isn't evergreen content, so it's not really going to get more viewership later on in the way that, like, for example, ContraPoints videos or like H-Bomber Guy videos will consistently keep getting more views. But like, this is from, okay, so like streamed a year ago. You can see these are getting like 1.3, 1.1, 1.5, 1.8, 1.1. These are almost cracked at a mil, 950, 960, 1 mil, 1 mil, 1 mil. And then now, like 360K views. This one, which happened to run for 9 hours, is the closest that they've gotten. A 9-hour show only got 900K. But for his normal shows, where people aren't constantly coming in and coming out, like 570, 600, 680, 600, 640, 600, 640, 650, 600. Like, it's literally halved. The subathon this year got half of the subs from last time. I love how they have to edit you to have bags under your eyes. Dude, I like how I'm still kind of serving. Like, why do I look like I'm serving more than Ethan does in the thumbnail that's supposed to make me look bad? And I still look better than him. Like, wait, I'm like kind of cutting. Oh, God. Yeah, he looks ill. He looks ill.
Publicly bashing innocent people sets a dangerous precedent for how online discourse functions. Also, when he admits he was wrong, he always has to deflect by pointing out something he thinks the other person got wrong.
She was the victim of the crime of patriarch and the recipient of my inappropriate joke, okay? My problem is with Ludwig being a spineless coward of a human being.
He can't just take accountability and leave it at that. And on top of that, he usually downplays the significance of his mistakes.
Do you think that's a meaningful distinction?
And what happens when someone responds to his Instagram stories and livestream content? He downplays what the person on the other end receives.
I'm 100% against anyone calling CPS on YouTubers they don't like. 48 hours after being harassed by Ethan Klein. Bitch, it's not harassment. Grow up. These people are...
It's not harassment. Meanwhile, like, literally got that guy's sister to have, 16-year-old sister to have threats in her comment section.
So pathetic.
And as usual, expect twisting things around to make the other person look bad.
You choose to participate in a snark Reddit page with your name on it, and then it's a problem that Ethan points it out. I'm sorry, it's
the interview bad empanada, bro.
Disgraceful to participate in a snark page. It is.
And I think it's
Ethan
disgraceful as a...
is allowed to point it out.
And also
and
as
if that's too much for you, maybe get off the internet.
Right.
And
or at least get off...
maybe don't work for a reputable company like Red and Link. You don't deserve to work there.
But Ela knows. Ethan did not only point out a Reddit post that speaks critical of Matt, he also posted this.
Someone needs to blow up the clip of them talking about their snark subreddit, dude. Fuck. Also, like, dude, if you're talking about snark subreddit, I haven't been there in a while. Let's see. I spent my weekend chillaxing. I made a lot of, like, cool snacks and stuff. I made peanut brittle for the first time ever. I made toffee for the first time ever. I made fudge for the first time ever. And they were kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. I shared them with some friends, and they thought they were all really good. Yeah. You're not fat, so you're lying. Yeah, the thing that I do is, like, I pawn off the treats that I make to my thin friends. And I'm like, here, you always talk about how you're struggling to gain weight. Here's some candy. And they're like, yes, candy, yes. So it's a good exchange. It's like a yin and yang. It works out really well. But like, dude, if you're talking about like harassment, like, and snark subreddits, dude, what the fuck is H3H3 Productions if not a snark subreddit with the way that they harass people and like incessantly post about the people they don't like? Like, literally, you can just scroll. You can go to fucking the subreddit right now and you can find Tanky. Like, this is the second post on Hot. They're catching on to Hasan's hypocrisy, but can't quite let him go / admit he's a fraud. Okay, and then we have like Hasan talking to AOC and Bernie. And then, okay, this is ads. I think, well, no, this is not ads, sorry. This is just like random posts. Okay, choose your, okay. And then immediately Hasan, within the top 10, there are at least 3 talking about Hasan. What the hell? How is that not a snark subreddit when you use your show to fucking harass people? The Call CBS thumbnail is exactly the same thing as the Noah video YouTubers that back genocide thumbnail that he wanted to sue for defamation. Yeah.
This and this and this and this called him evil and a piece. And
after I made my video, the snarkers, the Ethan Klein snarkers don't have anything to say, so they've just been relying on the classic nothing burger. This doesn't prove anything, which is like, that's what you say when you have nothing to say. That's what you say when
nothing to say.
That's what you say when you have nothing to say. And then the other one is saying, yeah, well, you endorsed Bad Empanada. And it's like, hey, man, if Bad Empanada is the one that's so evil, why don't you go sue him? Why don't you go sue him for defamation? And before I hear, yeah, well, he's in Argentina and that's really hard to sue him and blah, blah, blah. Dog, then why don't you respond to this?
Please sue me. I will submit myself to any jurisdiction that you want. I'll do anything that's needed. Like, I'll travel, I'll open bank accounts somewhere. I'll even try to get residency, like wherever you want to sue me. just so that I can have a moment in court where I play that video. Please, Ethan, sue me.
And Ethan won't sue Bad Empanada because he's too much of a pussy, despite Bad Empanada saying, I will get into whatever jurisdiction you want so you can sue me. Why won't he do it? Because he's a pussy. Because he's a pussy-ass loser who's too fucking afraid. Because he's a coward. It's the same reason that he watches spliced clips. It's the same reason that he refuses to talk to people that he disagrees with. It's the same reason that he just like pushes the lies that he pushes. Because he is a keyboard warrior. He's a keyboard warrior. He is a classic cry bully. And he's a total pussy. If really it is Bad Empanada and he's the one who's pushing all these lies, then sue him. He just said he'll go to whatever jurisdiction so you can sue him. Unless you're a fucking pussy-ass coward. Whoa, careful, Denims. He might threaten to sue you again and then do nothing. Fuck, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Or worse, try to sue me and then lose. Oh, fuck. Yeah. But it's not about, it's like, none of this is about me. None of this is about Bad Empanada. None of this is about whatever the fuck he wants it to be about. He's just mad that people on the internet don't like him. Which, like, I can understand or, like, be sympathetic to. There is something that is particularly heart-wrenching as a streamer or content creator when you hear from your own fans that they no longer like you. Because it feels like you failed those people, and it's sad. And he's gotten nothing but these comments for the past year, and it is breaking his brain. And it's breaking his brain.
Went on and on, making sure everyone and their mum has heard of where Matt works. Why did Ethan do this? Well, Ethan says it himself.
And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired because he's pathetic.
She would tell her friends to back off.
Isn't the whole point that you are saying difficult things, that you're taking the difficult stance? You're not, it's not about going along with the crowd and being like, I hate racists, guys. Aren't we all the best? It's about actually fucking doing the right thing when it's difficult to do.
Doing the right thing when it's difficult.
Go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything?
Ethan has faced criticism, sure. But let's not confuse criticism with actual systemic oppression. To equate someone disagreeing with your podcast to the struggles of a marginalized group fighting for basic human rights shows a serious lack of understanding. So here's the real question. Where does this end? How far does Ethan get to go before people finally say enough is enough? How many people will be harassed, misrepresented, threatened?
Was Ethan really comparing himself to black people during the civil rights movement?
Or dogpiled before he's held accountable? Because at this point, it's not about
500th least or most offensive thing that he's done. So it's like, that's so low on the list.
Defending himself. It's about controlling the conversation by any means necessary. And the longer this continues, the more obvious it becomes. Ethan Klein isn't fighting against harassment. He's weaponizing it. Thanks for watching the video. Bye-bye.
That was a good video. That was a good video. Great job. Soft take. Great job. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Cinema. You're a little whining about the fact that she is this perfect progressive person and therefore it's wild that people don't want to associate with her is pretty emblematic of her personality. She basically called herself perfect and virtuous. Who does that? Yeah. Yeah. It's just weird. It's just weird. And like this is what I mean when I say that like I love talking to normies and normie people because it keeps me like grounded in reality. And I get to remember that all the people who make like hate videos on me are the same people that have made like 500 hate videos on Hasan, where the groundbreaking discovery is that Hasan said Americans should have healthcare or something stupid. Or I'm not even gonna go to a certain place because I'm just gonna be mean. But it's either that or YouTubers who are total fucking losers, or they get like 4 viewers. Meanwhile, like, I feel like I've seen so many videos at this point like this. Dear Ethan Klein, you can't litigate public opinion. Ethan Klein versus Hasan Piker is getting sad. Ethan and Eli Klein call out Adam McIntyre. Yes, this one. But it's like, man, Christ. Jesus. Emotional terrorism from Hasan. How could Hasan do this? He personally did this. So yeah, I just... With that, in the meantime, I think I'm going to say something, okay, very earnestly. Ethan, you don't have to be this way, Ethan. Okay? You can choose to stop at any time. This is the trolley problem. This is it. You can choose to stop the trolley at any time, and it will only benefit you, man. Heart to heart, man. Like, it doesn't have to be this way. You can move on. You don't have to fight this fight forever. You can stop, man. You can stop. Okay? Whenever you want, man. Whenever. And you're the only person that can do it. The exit ramp is right there, man.